morning. We're here today at Latitude 55 and we're speaking with Nick, who is the master distiller and part owner.
Hey everybody.
How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Awesome. We're great. Thank you so much for having us. We're super excited.
Awesome.
So we'll start with you telling us a bit about yourself.
My name's Nick. I'm the master distiller here at Latitude. Also part owner. We've been doing this since 2018, and before that I ran Crown Royal, which is in Manitoba. That's where I'm from, Manitoba. Wow. So I did that from around 2010 to 15 before I came up to Grande Prairie. And before that, a multitude of other things. So.
May I ask what brought you to Grande Prairie?
Grande Prairie is, and Alberta in general, it just afforded more opportunity for me and my family. So we decided to take the plunge and move provinces, and that's why, just opportunities. So. And
I'm assuming you've enjoyed your time in Grande Prairie?
It's been good. It's been really good. I like the people in Grande Prairie, and I enjoy, the hiking and all that kind of stuff. Just got a new dog, I guess almost a year ago, and he's part husky, so it's good. Oh. You have to walk him every day or he destroys stuff, so it's good.
That's
good
so
that
cute.
Yeah.
You mentioned you're a master distiller.
Yeah.
What does that mean for folks who don't know?
So I'm actually trained. So I have a degree in distilling. When I was with Crown Royal, the parent company is Diageo, and they afforded me the opportunity to get that. And it's basically, I actually studied it in school while I was there and did all that work. And from a sensory perspective, it's really looking at, for me, it was whiskey, obviously, at that point in time, but I've kind of broadened my horizon since working with Latitude. So we have, with our gins and our rums and a vodka and everything like that. So I think it provides an opportunity for process-wise for me to understand how the process works really, really well and how to adjust it. And then additionally, from a sensory perspective, know when we're on the right path and when we're not. So that's kind of, I think, the big thing about being a master distiller is really understanding the process really well and the variations that you can do and understand the sensory aspect as well.
How long does that process take to become?
It's different for everybody. Yeah, sorry. It's definitely different for everybody. For me, the formal background, the schooling really, really helped me understand overall the process. Working at Crown Royal, which is one of the biggest distilleries in North America. I think it was, the time I was there, was number 2 or number 3 in North America. So, it was huge process, huge fermenters, huge, continuous distillation, which is a lot different than what we do here. We do batch distillation. So there's a lot of intricacies that I learned there. And then when we got here, totally new equipment, having to, figure the batch stuff out as well, and all the intricacies surrounding that. So, that's kind of, it's really understanding all of that, and that takes a lot of time and energy. And I've been in operations all my life, so there's a lot of consistency between the positions that I've held, so that helped as well.
Mm-hmm. What was the inspiration for opening Latitude?
It's funny, actually. So I got together with a few of my partners, and I originally was like, I really didn't have an interest in continuing. When I first got to Grande Prairie, I thought, oh, that part of my life is done. It's a shame, I really enjoyed it. And then, through my kids' school and sporting kind of, I met friends. They were really interested in doing it. And we kind of decided as a group, got together and made it happen. It was kind of crazy. So, but I enjoyed it. And I have enjoyed it since. The biggest thing I enjoy doing what we do now is working with a team that I get to work with, great group of individuals, and they are who really runs and does everything. I'm kind of in the background helping guide. That's kind of my role. So I think that's what I enjoy about doing what I'm doing now, and kind of why we started, and it's kind of morphed into this really cool thing where we have, you know, our products all over Alberta, and, you know, we ship all over Canada as well. And working with a great team that really locally pushes and creates a sense of community here, I guess. So that's what I like about it. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. So name inspiration, where did Latitude come from?
Man, that was a long time ago.
Sorry.
No, that's a good question. Because Grand Prairie is Latitude 55, so it's, you know, the 55th parallel, I guess it would be. Oh. So that's kind of where we got the inspiration from, because we're kind of here. We kicked around a whole bunch of different ideas for a distillery name, and that wasn't my idea. I can't take credit for it, unfortunately, but that's where we ended up. So,
for folks who might be interested in distilling or opening a distillery, what advice would you give them?
Do a ton of research and go and visit a ton of distilleries, not only in your home province or hometown, but make the journey, you know, and maybe even go into the U.S. and abroad, and really decide what you want to do. There are so many different types of distilleries and so many niches. As a craft distillery, a small distillery, I would call ourselves like a micro distillery. You can't be all things to all people, so you really need to understand where you want to be, what you want to focus on, because that's the easy part. If you really like a particular, for an example, if you're a rum drinker and you really like rum and you want to do rum, have a rum distillery, well, that equipment could be slightly different than if you wanted to do a whiskey distillery or you know, just make vodka, right? Mm-hmm. So there's difference in the operations, potentially, and there could be difference, you know, in how you set things up. If you're doing for an example, a vodka distillery, you probably want a bigger piece of equipment so you can get the proper rectification or make the product as clean as you want it to be, because small stills don't necessarily provide the same. It's called rectification, where you're cleaning it up. So, you know, you have to consider all those types of things. And it is not a glamorous, like everybody thinks, oh, it's so cool, you own a distillery. It's not as glamorous as you think it is. It's a lot of hard work. So if you're prepared to put in that hard work and really understand the process ahead of getting into it, that's one of the benefits I guess I had over a lot of people, is because I had a background in it and I understood the process really well. So I could pick equipment and I could pick a location and all that kind of stuff that kind of suited what we're looking to do, versus just not understanding that. So when you go and visit all these other places, you will probably get a better sense. That would be my advice.
And do you have a favorite spirit to distill? We've just started, excuse me. We've just started doing some really cool stuff with some of the waste products that we have in the tap room or our front house, our lounge. So we go through a ton of lime and lemon. So I use the rinds now to make a limoncello and a limoncello kind of, which is pretty cool. So I really enjoy doing that. We've got a little micro still there that's like 26 gallons versus the big one, the 200 gallon that we have. So I can play around with very small amounts now. We only got that in the last year, so that's been it's been fun for me. I'm a rum and whiskey drinker myself, so as you can see behind you, that we do a bunch of different types of whiskey. You know, we go to rye whiskey, a wheat whiskey, and then we kind of use different barrels to kind of get what we want. Bourbon barrels, we've got rye barrels, and we even have a few red wine barrels. So that's fun too, that process of kind of making a product, getting it into a barrel, and then seeing it kind of grow and change over the years.
So that's one thing. And the other thing is doing the small little stuff that we're doing now. So I find that a lot of fun.
Coming back to your tap room and lounge up front, what does the menu out there look like?
Well, I think we do a fantastic job of cocktail making. We have a great team up there. We have a smaller kitchen, but we are the chef that we work with has done a fantastic job of kind of creating a really cool menu for that kind of pars well with a lot of the cocktails and the flights that we do. So we do our own flights. We do a ton of different cocktails. We've got a really cool back bar where we have not only our whiskeys and rum and our gins and that type of stuff. We have a ton of other people's. So we're getting to the point where I think we have a lot of cool stuff that if you want to come in and try something from Brazil, or you want to come in and try something, another really cool Canadian whiskey, or cool Scotch, we've got a pretty good selection of really cool cocktails and great back bar as well. So,
do you have a favorite cocktail on the menu?
I got a multitude of favorite cocktails on the menu, unfortunately for me. But I've always liked the Palm Peace. It's nice and light, great summer kind of drink, easy drinking drink. It's fantastic. We actually decided, because it was so popular on our menu with everybody locally, we canned it this year, and we offer it in a can format as well for people kind of all over Alberta, which is it's really, really cool. It's very popular in town, so that's the big thing for us, the group of owners, myself, and the rest of the team here is we want to create a sense of community kind of locally. So it's local first for us. Ideally, that means the Grand Prairie and kind of, within a couple hours of Grand Prairie right now, but we do a lot of business in Calgary and Edmonton as well. And we're looking to grow and do that type of stuff. But yeah, the community piece is the big thing for me right now. So I know you asked me about a cocktail and I went into kind of community. So Palm Peace, short answer. So very long-winded answer, sorry.
No, but we appreciate that because it gives, insight on it's more than just the cocktail. This distillery provides more than just the cocktail. It's that community aspect and togetherness kind of piece.
Yeah, I think we're like a place where you can come down and sit down. We don't have TVs or anything like that, so you can come sit down with your friends and enjoy a locally made, cocktail and food and kind of sit there and be like, okay, it allows you to step out. We want to create that sense of community so you can come out with your friends or family, whoever it is, and just sit down and enjoy, an afternoon, an evening, without a lot of distractions. So that's kind of what we provide. There's a lot of places in town, and rightly so, that have 20 or 30 TVs on the floor, and they've got the baseball game or the hockey game. Go Oilers. I am from Manitoba, so I have to say go Jets too. They're out,
Fair
so
enough.
the Oilers are the only Canadian team left. I'm cheering for the Oilers. I want them to win everything. But it does come down to being able to come out and do something a little bit different. You're not always doing the same kind of thing, so that's kind of what we're hoping to provide people.
Along with everything that you're providing people, we noticed you do like tastings and experiences. Can you speak a bit about those?
Yeah, so we moved into this new location a couple years ago. So it's provided us the opportunity to be able to do tastings. And like I said, we just got that still. It's been maybe a little bit less than a year. I think we got it last September, October, somewhere in there. And that's provided us the opportunity to kind of not only people get to sample our products, but they actually get to make their own products. So we do a lot of gin making experiences. So whether it be you and your friends coming in and saying, I'd like to make a custom gin just for us that we can enjoy for the rest of the summer, something like that. Or you got your office, you want to do your office Christmas party, for an example, or do a team building event, whatever that looks like. We provide, and I guide you. I personally do them all, and I kind of guide people through, okay, these pairings of these botanicals work well together, these don't work as well. It's the kind of guide. But ultimately, it's whoever, it's the customer deciding this is what we want. And then, the way I've worked it out, within like 15 or 20 minutes, they get to actually try the gin that it's pretty cool. And then, we collect it all and we bottle it within 2 or 3 days, put a label on it, and then you have your own gin it's pretty cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so that little tiny still kind of provides us the opportunity to do that. And shout out to Travel Alberta. I want to say, they made that possible. They worked with us on the grant program. We took advantage of the grants that they provided, and otherwise we wouldn't have been able to do that and do what we've done. And I think it's been really successful. I think we've done probably 15 or 20 so far to date. I could be wrong on the number. It could be a little bit more, a little bit less. But I like them because I get to do something new every single time, because people are trying kind of new things, and it's very insightful for me. And from what I gather from the people that are kind of doing the experiences, they enjoy that. Again, it's getting together with your friends, creating something, like you did when you were a kid, where you're like, okay, I'm going to throw all these ingredients together and see, you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. You get to experience that again as an adult. So I think that's really cool. And I'm glad I can be a part of that. So.
Yeah, that sounds like so much fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
Activity to do with people, because, sometimes you don't want to go to the movies or don't want to go for dinner again. So just another activity that you can take everyone to. That's so much fun. I wish we could do that.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty cool.
We'll come back for it.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
So you do a whole mix of things. What would you say is the most challenging aspect of the work that you do?
For us, so I've got my background's in operations, and I think we have really good products that we, and the community enjoys locally. The biggest challenge for us as a distillery and lounge is really understanding how to market and get those products out to, a bigger population or group. I think we do a really good job in Alberta, and hopefully within the next year or two that we can kind of expand on that. I've got some really cool stuff in the pipeline that I think will kind of help, move that along. But it's a tough industry. The alcohol industry in general is a stagnant industry where it's not growing. If you're going to do something really cool and get on more store shelves, you got to take that away from somebody else, which kind of sucks, because it's there's a limit to kind of what. So that's the biggest thing, is kind of like I said, I'm in operations. I'm not a salesman. I don't profess to be at all. We've got a great team, thankfully, that really helps with that. But that's probably the biggest challenge for us, just like it is probably for a lot of other businesses in Alberta and Canada in general. So.
You've spoken also about a lot of positives. So what would you say is the most rewarding part of the work that you do?
And this is going to kind of sound cliche, but it's the truth. For me, it's working with the team and doing that type of thing. I love the distilling. I love playing around. It's like when I was a kid, you have that, you guys are probably too young, but that chemistry set that you could buy when you're like in the 80s, where you mix this chemical and that chemical. I loved that when I was a kid. I had one of those. I loved it. I don't think that the ingredients lasted very long because I used so much of it so quickly. I think I got it for Christmas one year. It was pretty cool. I love that aspect, but what I like more is working with the team that we have here. It's a great group of individuals, and kind of working with them and seeing them grow, and if there's any way that I can help facilitate that or help them, clear the path or whatever that looks like,
that's what I like. That's what I like the most, is working with people and getting them to where they're, you know, smiling, coming to work, and you know, I guess reaching their goals, that for lack of a better word. So that's what I like the most. So.
And being in Grande Prairie here, why do you think Grande Prairie is unique?
Grande Prairie is unique in a lot of different ways. I mean, unless you jump on a plane, which we've got the airport, but you're 4.5 hours away from any other major destination. So that's challenging in some respects, but it provides great opportunities in other respects, where we serve a greater population too, all the way around, from all the way into BC to up north, northern Alberta, all the way to kind of Peace River, all through there. So that's kind of, I look at it as an opportunity, and that's kind of what Latitude does too, is we focus, like I said, primarily on, you know, within a couple hours of town here, and serving our customers and our base there. And it's unique in that sense, I think. And it's a great community. People, like the Grande Prairie community, really gets to, when they need to get together and support, they do, in my mind. And I've met some, like I said, some great people. My partners are all fantastic individuals, and the team that I work with here is all fantastic individuals, and I think that's just part of Grande Prairie as well. There's a lot of great people that live and work, and everybody works really hard here. So yeah. Again, a long-winded answer to your question. Sorry.
No, don't apologize. And then last question for you. What would you say is the best piece of advice you've received throughout your life? Not necessarily specific to distilling.
And it's not going to be specific to distilling,
awesome.
Unfortunately. So, and I don't remember, I don't know whether my dad that told me this or someone else, but it was a long time ago. So, you can only control, don't worry about what you can't control. Focus on the stuff that you can. So that, to me, is probably my biggest piece of advice to anybody out there, whether in a life situation or with work or anything like that. People waste so much time worrying about what they can't control and they have no control over, instead of focusing their energy and their time on the stuff that they can control and change. So for me, that would be my advice, is don't worry about stuff you can't control. I think I do a really good job of that, except for my kids. I still worry about them.
Yeah.
No matter what. I think that just innately, you know, I don't take my own advice with regards to my kids, but with everything else, I think I try to do that. And honestly, I think it served me well. So that's what I would say to other people.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I'm Kylie. I am not a bartender, actually. I am the event coordinator and marketing manager. So when Latitude moved to the old fire hall, the tap room was actually an afterthought. They just had some extra space, and then normally you have like a little bit of something where you can do tastings with people, but not like a full-blown restaurant and event space. So they brought me in, and I get a plan and be super creative and do whatever I want to do. And we've done it all. Yeah, we've done like weddings and like micro weddings, and we did like a mob wife night and Galentine's events.
Oh,
like
that's so cute.
Yeah, our ladies events are really, really popular. But we sponsor like a draft hockey team, so they come here a lot. And this is an old fire hall, so we do lots with like frontline workers and try and honor that and give them a little bit of a discount. So yeah, we're gonna do some sampling. We're gonna go light to dark. So the first one is our pomegranate peace, and it's peace, not peach. A lot of people think it is peach, but it's called pomegranate peace because we live in the Peace region, and there's a swan on the can because Grande Prairie is known as Swan City. And this is a vodka cocktail. So how we came up with this is that it's the most popular cocktail in the lounge. And we decided to can a version of it so people could enjoy it at home or if they're a little bit further. And so what you're tasting is pomegranate, vanilla, and lime.
That's so good.
And then next up, we'll do our Northern Hair Gin. So this is based off of like the forest of Alberta. That's what we want you to kind of like envision and get taste-wise. So I'll let you taste it neat. Most people don't drink it neat, so I do have some tonic.
We talked about this earlier. I'm gonna make a face, and that's just because it's alcohol.
Well, yeah,
so
yeah. That's why I have
the
tonic.
type.
You can also another way to like is just to like smell it like with one nostril, and then you can even kind of like open your mouth and inhale. So what you're getting is like the juniper. That has to be in gin. That's kind of why people would be like, oh, it's piney. That's just juniper.
Oh, okay.
It's a berry here that grows kind of like in a bush. And then we did like spruce tips and needle and fir, so anything you would find in like a forest of Alberta.
It smells really good. Okay, I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, we have our artwork is by Robbie Craig, so shout out to him.
I always worry gin will taste like trees, because one time I drank gin and it tasted
Yeah.
like trees.
So this is the second gin that we've ever made. The first gin just like didn't really go over well with people. But it's because they didn't know how to drink it. So now that we have like a lounge and we're able to showcase it, like flies off the shelves because we know how to pair it. And that's like the science behind it and like why people are like mixologists. And like that's actually like our mixologist here has a culinary background, which is super interesting. So he's able to like apply that knowledge and be like, okay, this goes really well with tonic. So I'll pour you some tonic if you want.
Sorry, I drank it all.
No, here, I can give you another one.
I didn't realize.
Especially gin, you're not like, I don't know. Like
Yeah,
there's
not
a
much of a
sciencey
sipper.
Nick is like pretty nerdy about.
It's actually really good. Like it tastes like
Try it like this. It'll be better like that.
there's a gum that like my dad got from like Lebanon, and it tastes exactly like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's like I think it's made from a tree, so that makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, it probably has.
Juniper's berry, no?
Yes, it's very herbaceous. Yes.
That's good.
Oh, that's really yummy.
Yeah. So that's part of it too, right? It's like you might not go home and just like drink gin straight. So when you're able to have like a place to make it into a cocktail, how people would enjoy it, then it sells a lot better. Yeah.
Like that tonic made a huge difference.
It did.
It took away the burn.
Yeah,
Like, it
yeah.
made it sweeter.
And
It was
also
really
like
good.
this is like 40%, yeah. And to like taste it at its like capacity, like to get all the flavors, you want to taste it around like 20%. So when you dilute it a little bit, like those flavors come out, those botanicals come out. It's not so harsh. It's not just like the booze that hits you.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah, because it's a lot sweeter.
Yeah. Okay, next we'll move on to our Kakwa rum. So this is a brown sugar and molasses base to it, and it's barreled for 1 year or more. A rum has to legally be barreled for 1 year. So, and then if you're not familiar with the artwork on the bottle is Kakwa Falls. So it's like a super cool spot close to us. A lot of people would either like drive and hike, or you can quad, or you can sled in the winter. It's super beautiful. So it's kind of like a landscape that's unique to this area. There you are. So then, yeah, everything like is made with the community in mind. So it's a sweeter rum. Yeah.
Cheers. I'm not doing all of it.
Yeah, and then I have some of this stuff you can pair it with as well. And it is not a spiced rum. We do make a different spiced rum. People will pick up spice notes, and that's just from the barrel.
That's yummy.
That is really good like that.
Okay, next we have our Canadian whiskey. We make stuff really small batch, especially like with a rum and whiskey. So you do your mash, and then depending like the grains or whatever goes into it to make it, and then you have to, whiskey has to barrel for 3 years, otherwise it's moonshine. And that's how it would get its color. We don't add any coloring here, so everything is just picked up flavor from either, we use a lot of like single-use bourbon barrels, we use some wine barrels for some stuff. It's, yeah, very experimental. So then when you grab a bottle of, especially like our whiskey, you can always kind of look at it, read it, see what batch it is. It shows you that this was like a rye barrel and a rye mash, and that's what Canadian whiskey is. It has to have like more, I think, there's a exact percentage that I don't know off the top of my head, but essentially more rye than anything else to call it. And lots of people just refer to like whiskey as rye, but not all whiskey actually is rye or rye based. Can be made out of a lot of different things. So let's give you a little bit of this.
I'm not gonna drink this one straight. I'll mix it with the Coke, but I'll smell it.
Yeah, let's smell it, see what you pick up.
Oh, I get like a little maybe vanilla.
Yeah.
Maybe like an orange or like something citrus in there.
Cool, yeah.
I'm gonna try it straight. So.
You do, you Sahar.
Oh, that's actually pretty good.
Is it?
Cool.
Yeah.
It smells really good. I just, like they said, like I can't handle my alcohol, so like it could taste really good, but like the first 2 seconds I'm like,
Yeah.
So we make, like in our barrel there is our barrel aged old fashioned, and typically an old fashioned is whiskey. But because our rum is so sweet and it's already like a molasses and brown sugar base, and our old fashioned we do like chocolate bitters. And so that's what we use because it pairs so well, and we used to have it, so then it's one of our most popular cocktails, especially with the guys. They just like love an old fashioned on the rocks. So we bottled that as well, and we've completely sold out of it. We kind of thought we're like, well, we'll just do it for Christmas and try it, and then yeah, like completely sold out. So now we're like waiting for more to barrel age.
that's amazing.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of fun to do products that like aren't available all the time, just to get that excitement.
Yeah, and then when they come back, people are like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
It's like such a weird thing to note, but when I drank it, it doesn't feel like burning. You know, like it feels like, you know, when you brush your teeth, that like refreshing kind of like.
Oh.
It feels like cool. Like that's the only way I could
That's
explain
so
it.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of that I think too, like how smooth something is has to do with like the quality and like how long it's barrel aged. So this is very, very young for a whiskey, but it's still very good. So, and like the price always reflects that, right? This is $60, which in the whiskey world is like nothing too crazy. Yeah. So, yeah, try it with that and let me know what you think. And then this bison is actually what is behind us as well.
That's a really good flavor.
I do. Yeah, like that.
That's really good. Thank you so much. Hi everyone, we just finished up at Latitude 55 Distillery. What'd you guys think?
It was so fun. I wish I could have tried the alcohol. I couldn't because I'm driving home.
Yeah.
Taking us back to Edmonton from Grand Prairie today. We will miss Grand Prairie. But anyway, I am super excited because I bought some to try. So,
And Sarah and I got to try them. I loved everything. It was really good. I'm not a big like spritzer drinker, whatever you call that. But the one we tried was like the pomegranate piece.
It was so good.
Was so good.
Genuinely.
And not sweet at all, which I appreciated. So like if you like drinking that kind of stuff, but you don't like the sweetness of like a pop with your mixed drinks, then I definitely check that out. And all of theirs out. They have like a strawberry lemonade, a regular lemonade, berry lemonade.
They also have some pretty good food too. We didn't get to try it, but the menu items looked great. So.
Yeah. And if
Sahar was really into the seasonal creme brulee.
Yeah, they change the flavor weekly. Crazy.
That's so fun.
So
Right?
fun.
And if you're not in Grand Prairie, and unfortunately you can't come to Latitude 55, you can get it almost any place in Canada, I think or Alberta. Alberta.
So check your local liquor store.
Yeah, and if you don't have it, you can ask them to ship it in, and I think they will. So, try it out.
Yeah, and Kylie was amazing. Nick was amazing.
Yes.
So knowledgeable about so many things. They were really great to talk to. So go check it out.